live on YouTube. We are now live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm Xander. You are you, and we are being joined by the Golden Loon.
Yes. Good evening.
How you doing?
Golden Loon here. I'm doing well.
Excellent. I'm going to change my setting here really quick so that way this thing lights up to tell us whether or not we're talking. There we go. That's better. Anyway, today is Woden's Day, right?
Right.
You know, aka Woden's Day, Wednesday. You know, Woden's Day, June 10th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that occurred to date throughout the annals of recorded history. And we have a, where'd it go? Here it is. 37-page document to go through today, so a little on the higher end, but not too bad. Let's get on with the show today. Starting in 671, Emperor Tenji of Japan introduced a water clock, a clepsydra, called rokoku, rokoku. The instrument, which measures time and indicates hours, was placed in the capital of Otsu. And I actually have an image of this right here.
Ooh.
It's a little difficult to see, but I'm going to actually look this up so we can see some other images of it here. It shows a diagram and explains in Japanese, obviously, you know, what these things do and all that stuff. So it's a multi-tier. You can barely see it, but somehow it tells time or something. Like, this is going to look, it's going to require some looking into to really understand it. But yeah, that is really cool. We also have 1190, Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I Barbarossa drowned while crossing the Salif River in modern-day Turkey, leading an army to Jerusalem during the Third Crusade. So that's not good.
Man.
Yeah, the emperor. You know,
if he's in armor like that, he's going to sink quick.
Yep, he was. That's why he drowned and everything. But man, you'd think that they'd get him out. You know, like he's the emperor.
Yeah.
There's somebody on his hip at all times. You know. 1194, major fire at Chartres Cathedral in France led it to be rebuilt as a high point of French Gothic style, or in the high point of French. So that's an image of it on fire, right there. And let's do an image search of this really quick. That's Notre Dame there. But they rebuilt it here in that style.
Ah, okay.
So whatever style it was before was a different style or something, but it looks very similar. Once you've seen one cathedral, you've more or less seen them all. Not necessarily true, but still,
really.
You know, they're all huge.
They're awesome to see.
They're all huge, magnificent stone structures that take hundreds of years to build. You know, so that's what I mean.
I love the flying buttresses on the sides of these.
You do. You've spoken about them my entire life. You are infatuated with those.
Because it allowed them to have open spaces inside.
Yeah, it redistributes the weight through they're basically like a half an arch.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on up to 1225, Pope Honorius III issued the bull Venea Domini Custodes, in which he approved the mission of Dominican friars to Morocco. Okay. 1329, the Battle of Pelicanen was the last attempt of the Byzantine Empire to retain its cities in Asia Minor. So it sounds like they lost.
Didn't work.
Yep. 1358, French Jacquerie peasant leader Guillaume Caille was captured at the Battle of Mello. So, and they were, the peasant forces of the Jacquerie were crushed by the army of the French nobility. So, you know, we are the people, but that doesn't mean we win all the time. 1422, Ottoman Sultan Murad II besieged Constantinople, but was ultimately unsuccessful. Excellent. 1502, Crimean Khan defeated the Great Horde in the battle near Warskala, leading to the disintegration of said Great Horde. That's the end of that. 1523, Copenhagen was surrounded by the army of Frederick I of Denmark, as the city will not recognize him as the successor of Christian II of Denmark. So, sounds like he's exerting his force there. 1539, Council of Trent, Paul III sent letters to his bishops, delaying the council due to war and the difficulty bishops were having to travel to Venice. And that would cause it, If they're not there to have a meeting, you can't have your meeting. So, 1540, former Chief Minister to King Henry VIII, Thomas Cromwell, was arrested in Westminster for treason and heresy.
Ooh.
Here we go again. Freaking, King Henry VIII there. 1605, false Dmitry I, an imposter, was crowned Russian Tsar, ruling until 1606. So leading into the next year. So he was false, an imposter. So Yep, 1610, the first Dutch settlers arrived from New Jersey to colonize Manhattan Island. And we all know that, Manhattan, New York and everything, that used to be New Amsterdam before the British took it. 1639, the first American log cabin at Fort Christiana in Wilmington, Delaware. Now it's Wilmington, Delaware. So that's the first, log cabin. It's on record. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
1648, the people of Moscow rose up against the regent Boris Morozov. So another, people exercising their power there. 1652, John Hull opened the first mint in America in Boston. So before we became the United States, 1652, 100 some odd years before our Declaration of Independence, the first mint.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to make money for us to circulate
Currency,
over here.
yeah.
1682, a tornado in Connecticut uprooted a 3-foot diameter oak tree. That's pretty strong.
3 foot's a big tree.
Yeah. Although, we've had that tree that toppled over there years ago. The stump is still there, but it's getting overgrown now. What would you say? That's 1.5, 2 feet thick, or
I'd say 1.5 foot probably.
it's about it was about this big, so that's about 1.5 foot.
Yeah.
So yeah, so 3 feet.
Twice as big.
3 feet is like just about half my height. That's a big tree. 1692, we spoke about this lady before. The first victim of the Salem witch trials, Bridget Bishop, was hanged after being found guilty of witchcraft in the colony in Massachusetts. So according to other source, it says Salem witch trials, Bridget Bishop was hanged at Gallows Hill near Salem, Massachusetts, for, quote, certain detestable acts called witchcraft and sorceries, end quote. And that's not the same picture. I'm trying to find, because I showed it earlier, Bridget Bishop, and she had a look on her face like, oh, really? You're gonna convict me of witchcraft? I can't find it though. But yeah, it's the same. Because she was only 17 or something. Do you remember this?
I don't remember her age though.
Let's see, Bridget Bishop. I'm trying to find that one image. I'm not gonna find it.
Keep going. I think it may have been down lower.
No, I'm not finding anything
okay.
here. That's not it either. Whatever. Anyway, moving on up to 1720. There we go. Did I get rid of something? Oh well. 1720, Mrs. Clements of England marketed the first paste-style mustard. All right.
What style?
Paste style. So to spread.
Yeah.
What is it? Yep. Let's see here. What else do we got? 1760, New York passed the first effective law regulating the practice of medicine. All right. And I almost skipped over this one. In 1752, Benjamin Franklin tested the lightning conductor with his kite flying experiment. So he tied a key, and I think it's I'm not sure if it was that close or something, but he tied a key along the string of his kite to kind of force if lightning was indeed electricity, then it would the metal would conduct it. Yeah. And it was correct. So I just wanted to image search this to show a couple other pictures, and I thought there was an image here that explains something. Because you know how a lot of images I have have text on them, but it looks like I'm not getting it. But this is a diagram right there. He had an iron point to the top, and then so from there, I didn't know about the iron point. We all know about the key. So I guess the iron point, drew it in, and the key drew it further.
Down.
Which then would electrocute Benjamin Franklin. And thank goodness he didn't die. Otherwise, we probably would have never known. 1768, British customs officials seized John Hancock's ship, the Liberty, on the suspicion that Hancock had illegally unloaded cargo without paying duties a month earlier. We spoke about this a month earlier. So, riot broke out in Boston after customs officials seized the sloop owned by John Hancock for alleged customs violation. It's telling me to image search this one as well. So I'm going to do that, because I think there is images with, here we go. They seized the Liberty on suspicion of smuggling. Ship was owned by Patriot leader John Hancock. Caused a riot in which prominent customs officials' property were destroyed. Wow. So, moving on up, what else is 1770? British explorer Captain James Cook was the first European to discover the Great Barrier Reef off Australia by running aground on its coral, causing the ship to leak. The ship was later beached and repaired. Cool. So, like discovering
Yeah.
that reef and everything, which that reef is pretty much dead nowadays. Like I think it's incredibly receded because of all the tourism, like all the boat traffic and everything, and scares the fish away. It disrupts the ecosystem, and now it's completely foobar. But this is just a map of his Captain James Cook his expedition. So like on the Endeavour from 1768 to 71 was this red line here. So like he started here and he went all the way down and everything, and it looks like it kept going. I'm not sure, but then he was on the Resolution, and then the Resolution again. So he took 3 major expeditions, and look at that, like circling around New Zealand and all that stuff. Discovered Tasmania, so. 1786, a landslide dam on the Dadu River caused by an earthquake 10 days prior collapsed and killed 100,000 in the Sichuan province of China.
Wow.
Holy crap. 1793, the first public zoo opened in Paris. Now we have a discrepancy, because according to the other source, it said 1793, the Jardin des Plantes Museum opened in Paris. A year later, it became the first public zoo. And that's an image of the whole thing right there.
Why would a year later became a public zoo? Is what they're saying?
Yes. Well, like primary source says first public zoo opened in Paris.
Okay.
Okay, as it says right here. But then secondary source says this museum opened in Paris, and then a year later it became the first public zoo.
So it was a private zoo.
Or was it even a zoo? Like the first source says since 1793. The second source suggests it became a public zoo in 1794.
But it still existed as something in.
But it wasn't a public zoo.
No, not public.
No, but it was the Jardin des Plantes Museum.
Oh, okay.
Not a zoo, a museum.
True.
So, and I just want to do an image search of this really quick. No, not that one. Hold on a second. This one here. Just images of the building.
Yeah.
And all that stuff and all that, but yeah. Anyway, 1793, French Revolution. Following the rest of Burgundian leaders, the Jacobins gained control of the Committee of Public Safety, installing the revolutionary dictatorship. I don't like that word, dictatorship. 1794, France's revolutionary regime began trials. 1801, Tripoli declared war on U.S. for refusing tribute. Tripoli demanded tribute from us. Isn't that adorable? Oh, that's so cute. And then they declared war on us. I don't think they won that one.
No.
So I don't even need to look it up. I have no clue who anything about that. I think
never heard about it.
Yeah, exactly. 1805, First Barbary War. Tripolitania agreed to peace in war with U.S. over the latter's refusal to make tribute payments. Oh, here we go. U.S. paid ransom to release prisoners and lifted naval blockade. Oh, wow. But they lasted for 4 years, though. So, got to give them some kind of props. So, but that's hilarious. It was open and closed on the same dates.
Yeah.
4 years exactly. Huh. 1809, first U.S. steamboat to make an ocean voyage left New York to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. 1829, the first Oxford and Cambridge University boat race took place. Oxford won. And it took place specifically on the Thames River in London. The Thames, however you pronounce it. 1838, Myall Creek Massacre in Australia. 28 Aboriginal Australians were murdered. That is not cool. Oh. 1845, Andrew Jackson's African Grey Parrot poll. And by the way, before I continue, I'm going to ask you right now if you knew about this beforehand. So, anyway, his African Grey Parrot poll was removed from his funeral for swearing at the Hermitage in Tennessee. Funeral attendee William Menenfi Normant recorded, quote, "Before the sermon and while the crowd was gathering, a wicked parrot that was a household pet got excited and commenced swearing so loud and long as to disturb the people and had to be carried from the house," end quote. So, like, and hey, like, if I was that parrot, I'd be like, "Oh, my master's dead." Fuck. I would swear, too. So, it's pretty hilarious, though. Like, they had to remove a parrot. 1846, Robert Thompson obtained an English patent on a rubber tire.
Ah, okay.
It's pretty cool. So, and actually, there's an image here that I want to show you because I know and I enjoy it too. Throughout the time, you have the stone wheel, the wooden wheel, the wagon wheel, and then we have the tire.
Yeah.
And then now we have today. So, pretty cool. 1147, the Chicago Tribune began publishing. Cool. 1848, we have the first telegraph link between New York City and Chicago, so they can telegraph to each other. And I'm going to do a sweep to see if there's any comments yet. Nothing on YouTube, no comments on Rumble. Although we have a viewer on Rumble. Hello, viewer. 1854, German mathematician Bernhard Riemann proposed that space is curved. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it definitely is. Like it's a giant bubble. So it says here. He proposed that space is curved in a lecture titled Über die Hypothesen welche der Geometrie zu Grande liegen. He described the old-fashioned Euclidean plane geometry and solid geometry, respectively, as 2- and 3-dimensional examples of what we now call Riemann spaces with zero curvature. Okay? I don't know what those words mean, but
Not a clue.
Sounds interesting. 1854, the first class of the United States Naval Academy students graduated. Excellent.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, 1857, Britain passed an act putting Canada on the decimal currency system. Huh. Okay. 1863, Battle of Bryce's Crossroads, Mississippi. 3,500 troops led by Confederate Nathan Bedford Forrest defeated a federal force of 8,000. 3,500 to 8,000. They're not even half. How did they defeated them over 2-1? 1863 as well, during the French intervention in Mexico, Mexico City was captured by French troops. Yep, we spoke about a little bit of that yesterday, or the other day. 1869, Agnes arrived in New Orleans with the first ever shipment of frozen beef. So it must be a ship or something. So that's awesome, yeah. 1878, League of Parisian was established to oppose the decision of the Congress of Berlin and the Treaty of San Stefano, as a consequence of which the Albanian landed in the Balkans were being partitioned and given the neighbor states of Serbia, Montenegro, Bulgaria, and Greece. So I guess the Albanian lands or something. I'm not sure. I'm gonna double check just to make sure because that's the Albanian landed yada yada that it's worded weird. So this is 1878. Go to events, 1800, 18. I'm still in the 1600s. 1870. Come on, where are you? 1868. There we go. 1878. Albanian lands. So it is lands. I don't know why I put in landed. Okay. Anyway, 1880, MLB Boston Red Caps outfielder Charlie Jones became the first to hit 2 home runs in one inning, both off of Tom Poorman in a 19-3 win over the visiting Buffalo Bisons. Huh.
The bigger question is, why is that pitcher still in the game?
Maybe he didn't have a backup. 1882, Anti-Colonization Mass Society of Alexandria, Egypt, killed 50 Europeans. They're getting rid of the colonists. So. 4 years later, 1886, the eruption of Tarawa volcano destroyed the famous pink and white calcium carbonate hot spring terraces in North Island in New Zealand. So it says other source here, Mount Tarawa in New Zealand erupted, killing 153 people and burying the famous pink and white terraces. Eruptions continued for 3 months, creating a large 17-kilometer or 11-mile long fissure across the mountain peak. So that image right there was of the explosion right there.
Yeah.
Right here, look at these terraces. These are the ones that were destroyed. That is beautiful.
Oh, man.
They're gone now.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on a second. Right here, it shows you. Look at that view, and kind of sort of from the same angle. That's what it is now.
Uh-huh.
What a tragedy! What an absolute tragedy.
Mother Nature work. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it takes away.
The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh. 1892, Baltimore catcher Wilbert Robertson set MLB record by going 7 for 7 in a 9-inning game. Orioles rout St. Louis Cardinals 25-4 at Oriole Park. Wow. They got curb stomp there. That's a drubbing.
Get up 7 times in a baseball game is a lot. Obviously, they scored 24 runs.
Yeah. 1899, improved benevolent and protective order of elks formed in Cincinnati. The improved ones. Okay. 1900, relief column of 2,000 men set out from Tianjin to relieve foreigners trapped in Peking, China. Okay. 1902, a patent for window envelope granted to H.F. Callahan. So, do you know what a window envelope is?
Yes, I do.
Yep. A lot of people don't realize that they all do. It's this. It's an envelope with a window.
Yeah.
You know? So, it says here, oh, these are all different things to read. So, this looks like a whole PowerPoint presentation. Moving on up, what else do we got here? Did you see that image for half a second?
Oh, my.
That's not good.
Oh, my.
1905, first forest fire lookout tower was put into operation in Greenville, Maine.
Oh.
Yeah. 1907, France and Japan signed an agreement to maintain the independence and integrity of China, equality for all nations in trading with China, and the status quo in the Far East. Just looking to make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, good. I think I thought I deleted a picture earlier. In 1908, Aeronautical Society of New York, the first flying club, opened. Excellent. So, 1908 as well, the Australian Parliament passed the Invalid and Old Age Pensions Act, providing for pensions for British subjects, excluding Aborigines, at the age of 65. Wow.
Kind of screwed the
Excluding Aborigines.
Wow.
Son of a gun, you bastards. You know, 1916, Hashemite-led Arabs of the Hejaz rose up against the ruling Ottoman Empire in the Great Arab Revolt of World War I. So, from the other source, the Arab Revolt against the Ottoman Empire was declared by Hussein bin Ali, Sharif of Mecca. 1 year later, 60,000 people of Petrograd, Russia, welcomed Prince Kropotkin, who was banned for 41 years, returning after February Russian Revolution. And, you know, those Russians, they really do love their exile, don't they? 1918, the Austro-Hungarian battleship SMS Szent Istvan sunk off the Croatian coast after being torpedoed by an Italian MAS motorboat. The event was recorded by camera from a nearby vessel. By camera, 1918? I'm going to look this up here really quick just to see if there's a YouTube video of this. Oh, wow. Sinking of Austrian battleship. So, wow, they actually do have it right here. Whoa.
Early in the morning, a small Italian motorboat is on patrol. A battleship is sighted. The Austrian flagship Saint Stephen. A crew asleep.
Look at that. Listing. We're watching a video from 1918 here, people.
Yeah.
Are you not, is your brain not exploding? Like, this is over 100 years old. This is wild. I'm going to add this in the underbar section. I got to watch this entire thing, but hold on a second. Austrian battleship. This link and any other link we collect throughout the show will be in the underbar description below. Or the description section. We already have a lot of links down there, including but unlimited to all things Omni Coalition and our sources. 1924, first political convention broadcast on radio, Republicans in Cleveland. Okay. Oh, this is, there we go. I don't know why it restarted there. 1924, fascists kidnapped and killed Italian socialist leader Giacomo Mazzatoni in Rome. 25, inaugural service for the United Church of Canada, a union of Presbyterian, Methodist, and Congregationalist churches held in the Toronto Arena. I don't know, like, you know, that sounds a little New World Order-ish, trying to, you know, consolidate religions and everything. So, anyway, 1926, 1 century ago, MLB Philadelphia Phillies Russ Wrightstone hit for the cycle for the line. Yeah. 1930, Winnipeg Rugby Football Club formed. All right. 1931, Norway occupied East Greenland. Was there a war or something, like, or did they just take it?
I don't know, but they own Greenland now. It's their property.
Yeah.
Norway.
Yeah. Trump
keeps wanting to buy it from them.
Well, you know, like, maybe they should accept it, because we'll actually do things with it, and they could probably really use the money, you know? 1932, first demonstration of artificial lightning in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I'm going to image search this. There's not really any images that really depict this, but, like, you know, artificial lightning, you know, Tesla coil, but that's Nikola Tesla there. That's not 1932, or it might have been Nikola Tesla, but there's a better image right there, but I didn't want the big old Getty Images watermark.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. That might not even be the right one either. But, you know, like the artificial lightning, that just sounds fascinating. 1933, Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker flipped their car into a ravine. Parker suffers serious third-degree burns from the accident, which would affect her for the rest of her life. Oh, well, you know, she was a criminal, so I'm not going to really cry for her. Another criminal here, 1933 as well, John Dillinger robbed his first bank, taking $10,600 from the National Bank in New Carlisle, Ohio.
Wow.
Now, you want to play the game? Like, how much is 1933? $10,600 in 2026. Trust your gut. Don't think. Just say a number.
Oh, okay. Let's say.
Just say. Don't think. Just say.
80,000.
80,000. Okay. Let's see if it's 80,000. Okay. 5-year outlay plan track. Not Jeopardy. Income supplement. What the hell? It's not giving me. Money value. Here, inflation calculator. Here we go. No, I don't want pounds. I want dollars. It's. Hold on a second. This 1933 worth in 2026. Let's see if it. Here we go. Oh, that's something. That's 2,500. Whatever. We're not gonna find it. Fuck it. Moving on up to 1933 as well, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued executive order making Mount Rushmore in the Black Hills of South Dakota part of the National Park Service. All right. 34, USSR and Romania reestablished diplomatic relations. Okay. 35, in Akron, Ohio, Dr. Robert H. Smith, Dr. Bob from Akron, and Bill Wilson from New York City form Alcoholics Anonymous. This is the date of Smith's last drink. So yeah, according to others,
Anonymous, yeah, anonymous.
Yeah. Other sources, Dr. Robert Smith took his last drink, and Alcoholics Anonymous was founded in Akron, Ohio, United States of America, by him and Bill Wilson. And I just want to know, like, why is it not telling me, like, worth? What is 1933 worth in 2026? Like, not 2,500. Hold on a second. Well, now it's saying 250,000 according to AI.
Okay.
So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So it's not 80,000. I just wanted to answer your question. I don't know why it was so difficult today. 1938, English cricketer Charlie Barnett made 98 by lunch in England versus Australia. Test match at Trent Bridge. Closest any Englishman has come to scoring 100 runs before lunch. Okay, so they take a lunch break in cricket? What the fuck?
I don't
what
know.
the hell is this game?
I don't know. Before lunch.
That would have been a century right there. 39, why the fuck do I know this? MGM cartoon character Barney Bear debuted. Did you ever know about Barney Bear? I've never heard of Barney Bear. I've heard of Barney. I've heard of Yogi Bear, Smokey the Bear. But who the hell is this guy? Barney Bear. I mean, he even has a title card. I've never
seen that picture, though.
I have not. Huh.
But I've never heard of Barney Bear.
Well, obviously he wasn't that popular. The bear market, did become oversaturated, though. 1940, Canada declared war on Italy.
Who did?
Canada.
Oh.
Yeah. In 1940 as well, German-Dutch cruise ship Atlantis sunk Norwegian tanker. So I think they were flying Dutch flags or something. There was a lot of that trickery in all these wars. 40 as well, Italy declared war on France and Great Britain as part of its Axis alliance with Nazi Germany. So, yep. Beginning an invasion of southern France. We also have Norway surrendered to Nazi Germany after 62 days of fighting. So, 40 as well, during World War II, U.S. President FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, denounced Italy's actions in his stab in the back speech at the graduation ceremonies of the University of Virginia. I don't think that... Yeah, well, Italy, Yeah. But, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't... Like, that doesn't sound like a good speech for a graduation ceremony,
No.
Like, I would have done a press conference later that afternoon and read that. But, I mean... Like, that's kind of a bummer. You're graduating and your president's talking about how our country got stabbed in the back. I'd like something a little bit more uplifting, please. I just graduated, 1942, Mom's Time. I know Mom's Time is 41, but we don't have a 41 here today. And this is a bit of a rough article. Nazis killed all inhabitants of Lidis, Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia, which is now the Czech Republic, which had been implicated in the assassination of Reinhard Heydrich, a Nazi controller of Bohemia and Moravia, to quote teach the Czechs a final lesson of subservience and humility, end quote. Over 170 adult men were executed by firing squad on site. Women and children were sent to concentration camp gas chambers, and the village was burnt down and plowed over.
Wow.
Holy shit. Like, wow. Another source says, that the massacre was perpetrated as a reprisal for the assassination of Obergruppenführer Reinhard Heydrich. 1943, FDR became the first U.S. president to visit a foreign country during wartime. Well, okay, that's pretty.
What country did he visit?
That is a good question. He doesn't tell me, and that's not the same thing there. What country did he visit? I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article here.
Probably England.
Probably 43. It has to be England.
Yeah.
Context provided does not mention Franklin D. Roosevelt visiting a foreign country. What? I literally searched up the article I just read, and then AI is telling me the context provided does not mention Franklin D. Roosevelt visiting a foreign country. I literally said he did. AI, are you saying that I'm lying? Like, what the hell?
Saying that he didn't. You're wrong.
Well, okay. All right. Well, if anybody wants to look deeper into that, let us know in the comments section. That'd be great. Speaking of comments, do we have anything? Nothing on YouTube. Anything on Rumble? Where'd Rumble go?
He did go over to England, though. I don't know what year it was.
It had to have been. It had to have been England.
Yeah.
So. 43 as well. Actually, FDR signed withholding tax bill into law. We also have Heinrich Himmler ordered the final liquidation of Lodz ghetto in occupied Poland. 44. Nazi forces carried out a massacre of 642 civilians in the French village of Oradour-sur-Glane. So, men, women, and children. Nobody was spared. So, twice on calendar day, a couple of years apart. I mean, Nazis were terrible. 44, relief pitcher Joe Nuxhall at 15 years, 316 days, debuted for Cincinnati Reds. He was the youngest player in MLB history, becoming an all-star and broadcaster. That's awesome. 44 as well, World War II, in Distomo, Boeotia Prefecture, Greece, 218 men, women, and children were massacred by German troops. That is not the same as the other 44 because that was in France. So they are doing a massacre in France and in Greece on the same fucking day, same year. Holy crap, dude! And that's a couple years, after this whole thing, literally 2 years after all that. Wow. 44. Moving on up to Loon's time in 46. The Italian Republic was established. That's after World War II and all that stuff, and they were probably under Allied control, though not as heavy as Germany was.
No,
so
not near.
Yeah. 46 as well. Rear Admiral Sidney W. Sorers of the USNR ended a term as first director of CIA. Lieutenant General Hoyt S. Vandenberg of the U.S. became the second director of the CIA. Why is that marked? Oh, because it's 46. Okay. 47. Saab produces its first automobile. Good old Saab. You know what? Let's look at that image search really quick just to see what their first automobile was. This. That's a interesting. Look at that thing.
That could be it.
That almost looks like a beetle. Like it just looks like a larger beetle. Huh. That's pretty cool.
Except it's not made in Germany.
Yeah, and the engine is in the front.
Oh, there you can see the size a little bit better. It's much smaller than it looked.
Yeah. You can tell, by the seating and everything. It just has one front door, so it's
And it's a gull wing type door, it looks like. Yeah, there it is there.
Oh, no, that's a suicide door.
Suicide, yeah.
Yeah.
Not gull wing,
Yeah. No. And for people who aren't in the know, gull wing doors, of course, go up like in a DeLorean, And suicide door has something to do with, the mobsters, right? They open it to, use it as cover to shoot behind themselves or something? Or why do they call it that?
I always thought it because it was dangerous. If it ever opened up as you're traveling, then the wind would hit it and be very dangerous. I don't know.
That does make sense. Suicide door is an automobile door hinged at its rear rather than the front. Such doors were originally used on horse-drawn carriages, but are rarely found on modern vehicles, primarily because they are less safe than front hinge doors. If the vehicle were moving and the rear hinge door opened, aerodynamic drag would force the door open, and the person would have to lean out of the vehicle to reach the handle to close it. As seatbelts were not commonly used in the early days of cars having suicide doors, the person could easily fall out of the car in traffic. Hence the name suicide door. So you're right, 100% right.
What? Say that again?
For once, I actually was wrong. Self deletion door. No, they if I have any buzzwords in
they won't let you use that.
They'll flag my video as private until I do changes or whatever. YouTube, Google, they're terrorists. So, 1952, Chicago White Sox outfielder Sam Melly was only the 6th MLB player to record 6 RBIs in an inning, which was the 4th inning, during a 15-4 win over the A's in Philadelphia. So who was the first? That's pretty cool. 52 as well, U.S. President Harry Truman expressed a desire to nationalize the steel industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need that. 55, first separation of a virus into component parts was reported. Wow.
That's huge.
That is. And it's telling me to image search this, so I'm going to do so. Just to show the various things. Host cell membrane. So it just shows how they enveloped the virus out of the host cell. They got it out or something. I don't know. This is science well above my understanding. 1956, the 16th Summer Olympic Equestrian Events opened in Stockholm. But due to Australia's strict quarantine regulations, the 16th Summer Olympic Equestrian Events opened in Stockholm, Sweden, 5 months early.
Oh.
57, John Diefenbacher, C. What's C? It's not. C. It just says C.
In parentheses.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right here. Oh, Canada. Maybe. Conservative Party Canada?
Could be.
Yeah. They have a Conservative Party. Over here, our Conservative Party is Republican, so it's an R. Okay. Was elected Prime Minister of Canada. Oh, here we go. Other source. Yeah. John Diefenbacher led the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada to a stunning upset in the 1957 Canadian federal election, ending 22 years of Liberal Party government.
Wow.
Great. 59, MLB Cleveland Indians' Rocky Colvado hit 4 home runs in the 11-8 win over the Orioles in Baltimore. Nice. Consecutive even. 4 consecutive home runs in one game. That's bananas. 1959, U.S. motorcycle racer John Penton, at the age of 33, arrived in downtown Los Angeles after a cross-continental ride covering 3,051 miles in 52 hours, 11 minutes, and 1 second, besting previous record by over 25 hours.
Wow.
This record was itself then broken in 1967.
Oh, okay.
Huh. 62, a one-day record 54 home runs hit in baseball. Holy crap. That's crazy.
Wow.
52 home runs in one day.
Yeah.
1963, U.S. Equal Pay Act was signed into law by President John F. Kennedy, aimed at abolishing wage disparity based on sex.
Yep.
And this was part of his New Frontier program.
Yep.
Okay. And see,
Can't pay women less.
and see, here's the thing, all these people who still think that there is a legitimate wage gap, unironically, really believe that. If you really think that women get paid less than men, then why the fuck does anybody hire men? Argument destroyed. 1964, Southern filibuster on civil rights bill ended, cloture invoked. What that means is, from the secondary source, it says United States Senate broke a 75-day filibuster against the Civil Rights Act of 1964, leading to the bill's passage. Who's not passing it? 74-day filibuster? That person is evil. 1966, Janis Joplin played her first live gig with Big Brother and the Holding Company at Avalon Ballroom in San Francisco, California. I just gotta look this up. Janis Joplin, what was it that she was in? When she you told me something about her a long time ago. She was in some concert or whatever, and she really did an amazing performance.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know about which one. Pull back up, scroll back up. You missed it.
Hold on a second. Let's see if it's in a history.
Hold it.
Oh,
I was going to
is
show
this
you
it?
a good one just to play a clip of.
No, that's Jamie.
That's looks like Mick Jagger.
That was.
Go up, go up, go up. Right there. Stop. Right
Here?
there. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought here.
Pull it down a little bit, and you'll see her soul.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
There you go.
Sitting down by my window, just looking out
was the queen of rock and roll.
at the rain.
And if anybody wants to listen to this whole thing, you know,
That
underground
was when
section.
she was real young, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's there's one section like I'm trying to find here.
Some came
Here it is.
like a ball and shade.
Yeah, they have Mama Cass in this going, wow.
Yeah, the whoa
Yeah.
part. That's what I was trying to find there.
Yeah.
Moving on up, what else do we got here? My tabs are like just getting riddled, and I'm trying to remember exactly what all this is. Oh, we'll get to that here in a minute. Moving on up to 1966, Mamas and Papas won gold record for Monday.
Ah,
All right, this is Candyman. That's Candyman.
but I just mentioned
Monday. Here it is.
Yeah, just mentioned Mama Cass
Ah,
was in that deal, watching her.
ah. Yeah, good songs. What else do we got here? In 1966, the Beatles released single Paperback Writer / Rain in the UK. Rain featured experimental studio tricks of slowed down bass and drum tracks and backwards vocals in the fade out. Didn't we not talk about that a week or so ago? I remember talking about that, saying, "Oh, they're playing with things, you know, they're
experimenting.
yeah, experimenting." That's what I said. Yeah. 67, 15,000 people attended Fantasy Fair and Magic Mountain Music Festival in California.
Geez.
67 as well, Argentina became a member of the Berne Convention Copyright Treaty. Excellent. 67 as well, the Six-Day War ended. Syria and Israel agreed to a ceasefire. Primary source says Israel, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, and Egypt ended the Six-Day War with UN help. 67, USSR dropped diplomatic relations with Israel. Yep. 68, American League games at Baltimore and Chicago were postponed honoring Robert F. Kennedy. Yep. 1971, 44th National Spelling Bee, Jonathan Kinsley won spelling Shalloon. Shalloon? Never heard of that. Like, have you ever heard of the word Shalloon? No. Oh. Look this up here really quick.
Sounds a lot like the Jewish word shalom.
Yeah, or slalom. Oh, it's a fine serge wool fabric formerly used for lining garments. Oh, okay. So Shalloon. If you ever wonder, you know what Shalloon is, you know. So, what else do we got here? 1971, 72. Hank Aaron's Grand Slammer at 14 tied him with National League lead with Gil Hodges and moved him ahead of Willie Mays as number 2 home run hitter, 649. That's awesome. Yeah, it says other source Hank Aaron's 14th career Grand Slam tied him for NL lead with Gil Hodges and moved him ahead of Willie Mays to second in career home runs, 649. 72, Sammy Davis Jr.'s cover of The Candyman by Anthony Newsley and Leslie Bricusse from the film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory went number 1 on the charts, his biggest single. And I think it was his only, big
Yeah, I
hit
think that
and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Candyman came out in this movie.
This is called a
Hold on a
spondylium.
second, that's not it. Here it is. Where is it?
Tastes good.
The Candyman song. So it was made for this movie and everything. People don't realize that. And then Sammy Davis Jr. like heard it or was made aware of it.
In the sun.
So then he made his own single.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it really took off and everything. So I'm going to Willy Wonka Candy Man. So I'll put this here if you guys want to listen to that. And Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Candyman. So What else do we got here? 1973, U.S. rock band The Grateful Dead performed their longest concert, 30 songs clocking in at approximately 4 hours, 41 minutes, and 37 seconds at Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium in Washington, D.C.
Now, do you know what their loyal fans were called?
Well, I was literally going to say, after a concert like that, you would be a deadhead. So, yeah. But you informed me of that, so, yeah. 74, Philadelphia Phillies slugger Mike Schmidt hit a ball off public address speaker hanging from the Houston Astrodome roof.
Oh.
75, Rockefeller panel reported on 300,000 illegal CIA files on United States citizens. Wow. All the way back in 75. You know, they're always spying on us, so. Yankee sponsor Army Day at their temporary home, Shea Stadium. During a 21-gun salute, part of the fence was blown away, and another part was set on fire.
Yikes.
Well, that's not good. 76, 49th National Spelling Bee, Tim Keneal won spelling narcolepsy. Huh. And that one I can actually spell too. 76 as well, 67,000 fans attended Paul McCartney and Wings concert at the King Dome in Seattle, Washington. U.S. golfer Al Geiberger became the first player in history to post a sub-60 score of 59, which is negative 13, in a PGA Tour sanctioned event during the second round of the Danny Thomas Memphis Classic at Colonial Country Club in Tennessee.
That negative 13 is 13 under par.
Yeah. 1977, Apple Computers shipped its first Apple II computers. Okay. International Labor Organization and United Nations met to discuss apartheid in South Africa and potential actions to prevent further violence and state repression. Yeah, you know, they really got to end apartheid. It's not a good thing. What else have we got here? 77 to 7 as well. James Earl Ray, Martin Luther King's killer, escaped from prison. So he escaped from Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary in Petros, Tennessee. He was, though, recaptured 3 days later, so good.
You didn't know he escaped from prison.
Yeah, apparently he did. 78, Costa Rica became a member of the Berne Convention Copyright Treaty. So here we go again with that. 1980, 8 provisional Irish Republican Army prisoners escaped from Cumberland Road Gaol in Belfast using handguns smuggled into the prison. Whoa, that's scary. We also have the African National Congress, the ANC of South Africa, published a call to fight from their imprisoned leader Nelson Mandela. 1981, MLB Philadelphia Phillies Pete Rose tied Stan Musial's National League record of 3,630 hits. That's a lot of hits there. 1981 as well, Seven Brothers Square in the Bronx was named honoring the Seven Santini Brother Movie Company. So Seven Brothers Square, if anybody knows where that is or anything like that, it's named after a company. You know, pretty interesting. Seven Santini Brothers, International Movers. Huh. That's pretty cool. 82, U.S. TV sitcom Taxi, last aired on ABC, canceled after 4 seasons and 15 Emmy Awards. Moves to NBC in the fall, airing for 1 season and winning 3 more Emmys. Wow. It's a heck of a show there.
Yeah.
82, Battle of Sultan Yaqub, Israeli raid into Syria resulted in 30 deaths in the capture of Israeli tanks. Yeah. 82 as well, Israeli troops reached the outskirts of Beirut in Lebanon. This has to be the same thing. Yeah, Battle of Sultan, Lebanon. This is Syria. And Syria is different than Lebanon. So, hold on a second. That's from a different source there. Moving on up, what else do we got? 84, U.S. missile shot down an incoming missile in space for the first time. Interception. 85 as well, Coca-Cola announced they're bringing back their 99-year-old formula, which does indeed contain cocaine, as far as I believe. And, now, I'm not saying that for sure, but, it's kind of weird. They don't have it copywritten, because if they do, they're going to have to disclose their, their ingredients and everything. And, I don't know, Coca-Cola is addictive beyond just sugar, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, all that crap. It's addictive more than that. People I've never seen a religious following of a food like there is Pepsi versus Coke.
Yeah.
Versus Shasta Cola versus Tab, versus whatever. Coca-Cola is so far beyond everybody else that the only thing that makes sense to me is that it has cocaine, and that's why people buy it, because they're hooked. And if it does, then as long as it's not copywritten, then they can skirt under the law. And even if they're caught, they can just pay. It doesn't matter. They have so much money. 86 in South Africa, the 3-year-old state of emergency was renewed for another 12 months, followed by an organized campaign of civil disobedience against it. Yeah. AO's time! 1987, NASA's Discovery SRBs and external tank are mated. Oh, Discovery, so the space shuttle.
Oh.
So SRB, I don't remember what that's called. Or solid rocket booster. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah, and external tank. So the big orange
Yeah.
thing. So we also have June Democratic Struggle. The June Democratic Struggle started in South Korea, and people protested against the government. Okay. 88, greatest number of participants on the bicycle tour in London at 31,678. That's
a lot of bikes.
That is a lot of bikes. 89, Tales from the Crypt, a TV anthology debuted on HBO. That's awesome. 1990, Burger King began using Newman's own salad dressing.
Oh.
An interesting thing to document.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
1990, British Airways Flight 5390 landed safely at Southampton Airport after a blowout in the cockpit caused the captain to be partially sucked from the cockpit.
Oh.
There were no fatalities.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's wild. Like that's not a Photoshop image, guys. That's an actual photograph of the captain and everything. And I've seen the video on and everything.
Well, they must have got him back in some way.
No, he stayed out the whole time. The co-pilot, or one of the guys, that's from the inside, holding his legs
Oh my
the
God.
entire time. So they were fully 30,000 feet or whatever when it
Yeah.
blew out, and the entire time until he touched down, that guy was there holding his legs.
Wow.
Because he got partially sucked out and everything. Horrifying. So actually, yeah, experienced a window failure in the cockpit, causing it to decompress and suck the captain halfway out. The crew held on to him for 20 plus minutes, resulting in frostbite. They did an emergency landing, and the pilot survived. Yeah, so that's right. Like he has frostbite on his fingers
Yeah.
and everything. So, I mean, of course he would. What else do we got here? 1991, final episode of David Lynch's Twin Peaks television series aired on ABC TV. I heard about Twin Peaks. Never saw it, but I've heard about
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Yeah. 91, New York welcome home troops from Operation Desert Storm and the mother of all parades. We've been talking about this event for 3 days now. So, 91, 11-year-old J.C. Lee Dugard was kidnapped in South Lake Tahoe, California. She would remain a captive until 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
20, almost 20 years. 18 years.
Yeah. Is that 18 years?
2009. No. Yeah.
That is 18 years. Yeah. 1994, biggest European clock ever, 9,100 kilograms, or 237 and 2.5 meters at Arley Rixdal. That's written weird. 237 pounds? I don't know. And I've image searched this before and didn't really get anything. It just shows me a whole bunch of random... I have bells, I have a cuckoo clock, I have a fish, I have Christmas ornaments. This is all over the place, Here's another fish. That's that same damn fish. This looks like AI, though. I don't know. Maybe it's not. What else do we got here? 1996, Intel released a 200 MHz Pentium chip. Okay. 96 as well, Stanley Cup Final in Miami Arena, Miami, Florida. Huey Krupp's unassisted goal in triple overtime gave Colorado Avalanche a 1-0 win over Florida Panthers and a 4-game series sweep.
Wow.
Man, they were really, holding on to that with their skin of their fingernails, dude. Triple overtime to score the one goal you need. We also have a variety talk show, The Rosie O'Donnell Show, hosted by Rosie O'Donnell, premiered. Peace talks began in Northern Ireland without the participation of Sinn Féin. Well, then they're not peace talks now, are they? How can you have peace if you're not allowing one of the belligerents to be involved in it? It makes no sense. 97, Khmer Rouge leader Pol Pot ordered the killing of his defense chief Sun Sen and 11 of Sen's family members before Pol Pot fled his northern stronghold. Wow. Yeah, Sinn Féin, Pol Pot, horrible stuff. 99, NATO suspended its airstrikes after Slobodan Milosevic agreed to withdraw Serbian forces from Kosovo during the Kosovo War. 2001, Pope John Paul II canonized Lebanon's first female saint, Saint Rafka. All right. 2002, the first direct electronic communication experiment between the nervous system of two humans was carried out by Kevin Warwick in the United Kingdom. That almost sounds like telepathy. The first direct electronic communication experiment between the nervous systems of two humans. Like, well, somehow, like they have their nerves tied together, or they're telepathying or something. I don't know, but it says here
It's connected.
direct electronic communication. So it sounds like they're hardwired.
Yeah.
Well, no, direct. So, direct does not necessarily imply it's physically connected. But they can be wirelessly connected. It's a direct link.
True.
I don't know. Hey, can anyone like look more into this? I'm going to do a surface level sketch of this article really quick. We're 5 minutes to our hour, but we're almost done. This is just telling me about Kevin Warwick. Oh, here it is. First communication between human nervous systems. Had a 100 electrode array implanted into the median nerve fibers of his left arm. A second, simpler implant was surgically added to Kevin's wife, Irina, and the two implants communicated over the internet, allowing Kevin to field signals directly from Irina's implants. Wow!
In other words,
That's crazy.
if she flexed or something, he could feel it.
Yeah. That's wild.
That is.
Yeah. 2003, Michael Leshmar and Michael Stark became the first same-sex couple to legally marry in Canada. Whoopty-hoopty-doo, who cares? 2003, Stephen Schwartz musical Wicked, starring Idina Menzel and Christian Wealth, officially opened at the Curran Theater in San Francisco, California. Okay, not to be confused with that horrible movie that came out. That's just woke garbage. 2003, the Spirit rover was launched, beginning NASA's Mars Exploration Rover mission. 2007, The Sopranos series finale on HBO, the infamous cut to black ending. Big upset. A lot of people think that Tony got whacked and everything.
I never saw any of that series, so I have no idea.
I never sat and watched it, like, a whole episode, but
Yeah.
I've seen so many clips.
Oh, okay.
That,
I haven't
like,
seen anything on it.
Yeah. Oh. 2007, novelty dance song I'm a Gummy Bear by German band Gummy Bar was released. And,
I heard of that.
you know
I
what?
think it's, well, I did.
It is, and I'm trying to find the original, hold on a second. Gummy Bear song original. Let's see, here it is. It's so stupid. Like, hold on a second. If it loads. Oh. Well, while it's loading, I'm going to go on up here to 2009. 88-year-old James Wenneker von Brunn opened fire inside the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum and fatally shot museum special police officer Stephen Tyrone Jones. Other security guards returned fire, wounding von Brunn, who was apprehended. Wow.
Good grief.
Wow. How do you get a gun into there? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. But going back, I'm just going to play a couple seconds of it because it's so obnoxious.
Oh, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh.
I can't take anymore. It's so stupid. I just want to punch that stupid gummy bear in the face. Shut up! You know?
Oh, I want to listen to the whole thing now.
I'll send it to you if you want.
No, I want you. I want to be sitting next to you.
You know, if we're gonna do that, then I'll have you, listen to that Mongolian, parent song. Hold on a second.
No, I don't want to remember.
No, you know what? I'm gonna look it up. Hold on a second.
Thank you.
Mongolian I love you parents. Let's see if I can find it. Mongolian song. Here it is. Yeah, this one.
Kasi lagu ini
No, where is it? Here it is. You hear this one?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna put the gummy bear and this Mongolian thing in the underbar section here. So gummy bear, just so that way people have a variety of ways to torture themselves. So Mongolian song. I'll just put it. Weird ass titles. What else do we got here? 2013 Superman film Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder, starring Henry Cavill and Amy Adams, premiered in New York City. 2018, a planetary dust storm caused NASA's Opportunity rover to cease communication from Mars. Actor Vince Vaughn was arrested for drunk driving and resisting arrest near Los Angeles. Freaking stupid-ass Vince Vaughn. 2018, the Opportunity rover sent its last message back to Earth. The mission was finally declared over on February 13th, 2019, so the next day. So, last message. Former Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari was arrested on corruption charges. 2019 as well, new DNA research on grapes showed one French wine, Sauvignon Blanc, has been grown for 900 years in Jura, published in Nature Plants. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 men were sentenced to life imprisonment for the struggle, snuggle, and murder of an 8-year-old Muslim girl in Kathuna, India, in high-profile case that sparked political resignations and nationwide protests. So when we do it to them, then it becomes a problem. But when they do it to us constantly, it's no problem. Then if we complain about it, it's hate
Raping
speech.
an 8-year-old girl?
Yeah, that happened in Britain a couple years back. Like there is
Not okay there either.
Well, no, it is okay over there if they're the right color. No, what I'm saying is there's an incident in Britain where it was a little white girl, like a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old, like a little girl, a white girl, got gang struggle snuggle. Like there's a group of 4, 5, 6, of these illegal Islamic immigrants, and they did horrible things to her, killed her. The mom complained about it on Facebook, and they arrested the mom for hate speech. So once again, I say it's okay for them to do it to us, but then when we do it to them, then we get arrested. We should get arrested. So should they. Is my point. That they're a protected class for some reason. 2020, Cameroon's conflict with English-speaking separatists rated world's most neglected conflict according to Norwegian Refugee Council. 2020, statues of Confederate figures and explorers became the focus of the Black Lives Matter protests, with many removed, including Confederate President Jefferson Davis and of Christopher Columbus in Richmond. I'm still, I don't like those figures, but at the same time, if we don't have the echoes of the history's atrocities screaming at us in the face in the form of statues, who's going to go to a library to get a book? Who's going to go to Google to look it up to learn this? We need to have it in our face. And for that exact same reason is why the system is getting rid of all these. They want us to repeat history. That's what they want. 2020, Swedish prosecutors closed the case on the murder of Prime Minister Olof Palme after 34 years, saying the probable killer is dead.
34 years?
Give it a rest.
They did.
Yeah.
2021, Emma Coronel Espirito, wife of drug lord El Chapo, pled guilty to helping run his criminal operations and aiding his 2015 prison escape. Yeah, I think she's in prison too as well. 2021, the ESA, European Space Agency, announced a new Venus mission, the probe Envision, to study Venus, tesserae, its continent-like terrains. All right. Doing a scan to see if there's any comments. No comments. United Nations said famine is affecting 350,000 people in Tigray, Ethiopia, the worst starvation calamity in the world right now as of 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We also have Zainab Quraish confirmed as United States' first Muslim federal judge for the District of New Jersey by the U.S. Senate. Somebody has to look into how many Christians and Muslims have been wrongfully convicted by them, because they're Muslim. So, I only say that because the first Muslim mayor of London tried to abolish Christmas as one of his very first acts. As soon as those people get power, then they want dominance. Like, remember they tried to have a Sharia law thing in Texas or something,
City, yeah. It's going to be governed by
the
Sharia
camel's
law.
nose. The camel's nose. Oh. 2022, Ringo Starr suspended his half-completed summer all-star tour when 2 musicians tested positive for the Kung flu. Okay? 2024, Apple has announced it will be using generative AI on its devices and in its update for Siri, and a partnership with OpenAI. That's terrifying. 2024, a plane crash in Malawi left 10 people dead, including the country's vice president, Solos Chilimera. Oh, yikes. And last but not least, this time last year, 11 people were killed, including the perpetrator, and 11 others were injured in a mass shooting at a secondary school in Graz, Austria. Yeah. And that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. These links will be down there in about half hour or so. I have to go do a chore after the show here, but it'll be up soon. So anyway, we got through all of our 37 pages in just an hour and 5 minutes. So not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. It is up to you to find the articles or find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own, and find a better way to be better to one another. If you're still watching at this point, let us know in the comments section. Put in
Cola.
Cola. Yeah, say
One of
cola.
our articles.
Yeah. For your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all of you and all of us, I'm AO Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!